don't know why I got these. I don't want to show them. That's not a good reason to buy books. I was kind of forcing myself to enjoy them, which obviously didn't work. This, like, no one needs to see that! Hello and welcome. If this is the first video of mine that you're watching, my name's Luca, and I have a stack of about 40, like almost 40 books that I'm going to be unhauling in this video. That's because I have way too many books. I think I have like a physical TBR of like 150 books or something, which is ridiculous, and it means that I'm never going to get to all of them. So these are the books that I'm just simply probably never going to read, and the only reason I am filming this video right now is because I have a deadline and I'm procrastinating. So let's get into it. I have some books that are a lot less known, and then I also have like a really big stack of books that I bought because of Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, so they're like pretty well-known books in the book community. And then I also will have some books that like no one knows about and that I barely know about, so I have no reason to own them. The first books in this video are the 50 Shades of Grey books. It's 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Freed by E.L. James. I have not read these books. I got them when I started reading because I was like, well, these are the most well-known romance books. They're not, but that's what I thought. And I figured I had to read them. I don't have to. I'm not going to. I'm not interested. So I've seen the films, enjoyed those. Next, I have a similar series by Sylvia Day. It's called the Crossfire Series, I believe. They're called Bare to You, Entwined with You, and Reflected in You. These are the first 3 books in the series. I think there's more. I'm not going to read them. I figured out like my reading taste has changed so much since I started reading. So most of these are books I got at the beginning of my reading journey when I was just collecting books and basically buying all of the books someone recommended one time, like someone on YouTube, someone on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. As long as someone raved about it, I would go out and buy them, mostly secondhand, but also like sometimes new. I would spend so much money on books that I did no research on. So most of these are those books, including these ones. I heard like so many good things about them. They don't sound like the type of romance I really enjoy, so I will be getting rid of these too. Okay, next I have the book How to Stop the Time War. Oh no, that's actually not this one. How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. I got this such a long time ago, like years and years and years ago. I think I was 14 or something when I got this book. I'm 21 now, so that's a long time. No, it's not 14. I think I was 15 or something when I got this book. It's a long time ago. It's the same author as The Midnight Library, and I also have that book. I have not read either of them. However, I'm much more likely to read The Midnight Library, so I'm getting rid of this one because I don't know, it's not calling my name. Then we have Until Friday Night by Abby Glines. I'm just now noticing that there's a third girl on the cover. Like there's 2 people over there and there's a third person. I never knew that, so this is probably a love triangle, and I think it's like a popular guy and shy girl romance thing, but I think I got this because it was just so cheap when it was on sale one time, and that's like, I need to stop doing that because that's not a good reason to buy books. You need to buy books because you're interested in the story or like you heard great things about them, not because they just happen to be on sale. So I will also be getting rid of this one. And then I have books that I'm actually ashamed to show you. Like, I'm embarrassed. I don't want to show them. It's the Kings of Rittenhouse series. These are also books that I got like a year and a half ago because someone said they were similar to the Off-Campus series, and I loved those books. These, however, did not work for me, and since I don't like them, I'm ashamed to own them because there's no reason to own books with naked men on the cover if you like don't even love the stories. The first one is called Shameless King, then we have Reckless King, Fearless King, and Heartless King. I think there's supposed to be one like in between these books, but I don't own that one, and I'm just going to be getting rid of these because I don't know why I got these. I don't know why I got all of the books, almost all of the books in this series without having read one of the books. I should have just bought the first one, read it, and I would have known that I didn't enjoy it, didn't like it, didn't care for the series, and I wouldn't be stuck with all of these books. But I am, because I am a stupid person and I make terrible decisions. So I really tried to get through this series because I was like, well, I own all of them now, and I was kind of forcing myself to enjoy them, which obviously didn't work. So I read the first one, Shameless King, read the second one, Reckless King. I remember absolutely, like, almost nothing. I think I remember the names, one of the names of the people in the first book, and that's it. I just really didn't care for these books, so I'm going to be getting rid of them. I think her writing style, like Maya Hughes, just doesn't work for me. I think I gave them both 3 stars, but that was also like a while ago, and I'm a much more critical book rater now since I know what I like and what I don't like. So I don't think I would give them 3 stars now, but I gave them 3 stars at the time. I just remember absolutely nothing. So that's that. And then I have more books by Maya Hughes because I did not only buy that book series, I also bought her other sports series. Again, why? I don't know. I don't know. This is called the Fulton U series, I believe, which takes place at the same university, but those are hockey romances and these are football romances, I believe. They're called The Perfect First, The Second We Met, and The Third Best Thing. This one is actually the only one that might interest me. However, like, I don't need the physical copy. I don't need to own these books because, again, this is like less bad than the other ones, but this, like, no one needs to see that. Why do people put these things, why do people put men on the covers of their books? I don't know if authors have something to do with that, but if they do, why on earth would you do that to yourself? Like, these look like the books you pick up at the supermarket. If you, like, your blood, sweat, and tears and time goes into these books as a writer, so why on earth would anyone ever put a half-naked man on the cover? I think that, like, genuinely at least cuts your sales in half, if not more. Like, you lose so many people that might be interested in these books because of these covers. I just don't understand. Anyway, that was my rant. I will be getting rid of these books. These, like, kind of interest me more than the other ones because I do want to see if she writes them a bit different, but I don't need to own the physical copies. And if at one point I would love to read them, I can just get them on my Kindle or, like, read them online or something. Anyway, the next few books are books I bought. Again, at the beginning of my reading journey, I went on a online secondhand bookstore, which I still, like, get some of my books from because they're great. However, I just bought these again because they were cheap, not because they interested me that much. And that was a mistake because they've been sitting in my room doing nothing, collecting dust ever since. So I'll be getting rid of them. This one's called Fight or Flight by Samantha Young. I have heard about a different book by this author. It's not this one, and I think this is like about a one-night stand kind of thing on a plane, and I don't know, just reading the synopsis, I don't care. So I'm not interested in reading it. Then I have a book, and I'm actually surprised I ever even got this one because this does not sound like something I would enjoy, like, at all. It's called The Love Square. It's 1 girl, 3 guys. It's not even a love triangle, it's a love fucking square. Like, I don't want to read about that. So I do understand why people would love these books. Like, do not get me wrong, I'm not hating on any of these books, they're just not my taste. So there was absolutely no reason for me to get these books, let alone keep them, knowing I'm just not going to read them. So I'll be getting rid of this one as well. Then I have If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy, and when I bought this, I had never seen anyone talk about this. Like, it was completely new to me, and something about this book interested me because it's a plus-size girl, and, like, the thing is that it was just, like, good representation, and I think that, like, something I read on the synopsis on the back of the book convinced me to buy it. However, it's also something like the Bachelorette thing, and I don't watch that because I don't want to, and just nothing about that interests me. And I also figured out that I don't always love rom-coms. Like, I have to be interested in the story, like the specific story of the rom-com, to, like, really want to read it, and I'm just not interested in this one. I've been saying that a lot. Not interested, not interested. I guess that just sums it up. Okay, then I also have, again, I don't understand. I don't know why I even bought this because it just does not sound like something I would enjoy. But it's called An Affair to Remember. I think it's about a woman, like a famous woman, who falls in love with her doctor and she can't be with him because she has a husband or something, but then she finds out the husband is cheating on her, so she kind of gives herself permission to cheat on her husband with... It's just in the title it says An Affair to Remember, and I don't want to read about an affair. Next we have No, We Can't Be Friends by Sophie Renaud. It says the best revenge is moving on, and I just have so many more books that I would get to before I would ever get to this one, and I just know that it's going to like be pushed down and pushed down and pushed down as I collect more books, that I would have no enthusiasm left to read this book. So I hope someone else can enjoy this book if I donate it or something. Then I have 2 books by the same author. She's called Mary McFarland. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I am. They are called You Had Me at Hello and Don't You Forget About Me. I know nothing about these books. There's no reason for me to own them. I think I kept 2 books by this author. She's also the author of the book If I Never Met You, which I have seen some places and I have heard good things about that one. So I'll be keeping that one, and then I also am keeping one of her other books that I bought alongside these, but that one is a long-time friends to lovers kind of thing, and that's just basically my favorite book trope on the planet, so I'll be keeping that one, getting rid of these because I need to get rid of some books, you know? Now for the fun stuff, because now we are going to get into the books that are well known on TikTok. The first books are a book series that I started like I think 2 years ago, a year and a half ago or something. I read the first book, which is called Fishes. That was the first book in the Sinners of Saint series by LJ Shen, and here I have the novella and the second one, third one, fourth one. They are called Ruckus, Scandalous, and Bane, and again, I don't need to own these books. Like, I don't know what came over me because I went out of my way to buy these and to also buy the spin-off series that I'm going to show you in a second. And then as soon as I actually got them, I looked at them and was like, there was no need for this. There was no need for this. So the first one is just a really short one. I read this one, gave it 2.75 stars or something. I didn't like it. Then I read the second one, which is called Ruckus. I did like this book solely because I liked the 2 main characters. However, I just am not the biggest fan of her writing style. It was not what I really enjoy. However, I did really like the characters, but there's just no need to own a book with a naked showering man on the cover. No need. If someone were to go through my books, I feel like I would need to explain to them why this is on my bookshelf. Like, I would feel like I need to defend myself. So I enjoyed it at the time. I enjoyed the first one, I enjoyed this one, I enjoyed the third one, which is called Scandalous. This was age gap, so it was a bit iffy for me, but then I completely lost interest and I just did not care for the fourth one, so I never touched this. It's also about a character that was introduced in like the last book in like 10 pages, so I don't know why he got an entire book in the series. But anyways, then we have the spin-off series from that series. That one's called the Sinners of Saints, and then this series is called the All Saints High series. I read the first one, Pretty Reckless, on my Kindle when I was traveling, and then I also read the second one, Broken Night, on my Kindle when I was traveling, and then I never read the third one, Angry God, because it's like enemies to lovers and I just wasn't interested. Enemies to lovers is not like my favorite trope, so I skipped this one. However, the second one is like a bit harder to part with because I loved this book. There were some things I didn't love. It wasn't perfect to me, but I really did enjoy it because I loved the 2 characters. I loved them together. They were childhood best friends to lovers, and you like got to know them in the other series because that one's about the parents, this one's about the children, and you just got attached to them like over the span of so many books that I loved this one. So this one is going to be a bit hard to part with because I did enjoy reading the books. I'm never going to read them again, so I hope that someone else is going to enjoy these books. Then we have Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. I read Better Than the Movies by her and I liked that book. I enjoyed it. So then I got this one when it came out. I don't know why. I think it was like I have a obsession with buying books, and sometimes it's more about buying the book than actually like really wanting the book. Like it's rare that that happens. However, I think it did happen with this one because I'm not too interested. And I've heard mixed things about this one, and I think I'm just going to pass it along to someone else who is hopefully going to be more enthusiastic than me, because I am just never going to get to this book if I keep it on my bookshelves. I am just going to start to pile through these because this is a long video. This one is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I, again, went out of my way to buy this book, but then I read a different book by her, didn't enjoy it, and so I lost my interest in this one. Again, I've seen mixed reviews, so I just don't want to read this one. Then we have A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair. It's a Hayes and Percival retelling, and I think this is the first fantasy book I ever read, and it's not even like really heavy on the fantasy, I think. I heard so many great things. I looked for this book, I got it like secondhand, but I went out of my way to get this one. Started reading it and it put me in the biggest slump. Like I got to like here, so I got like a decent chunk in, and I just had to stop reading it because I didn't enjoy it, didn't like the characters, I didn't like the writing style, just didn't love anything about it, and I just got so far into the book that I wanted to force myself to finish it. But then I reminded myself, no, reading's supposed to be fun, so if you don't like it, you can put it down, no shame in the game. So I DNF'd this one like a year ago, and hopefully someone else will love it because I have heard like great things about this. It just wasn't for me. Okay, this is the final stack. The first one is the book that I was telling you about like a second ago. It's called Bully by Penelope Douglas. This is the book I tried by her. I should have known that I was going to hate this book because it has the word bully. The fucking title is bully, but while I was reading this, I was like, he's bullying her, like what's wrong with him? But I should have known that, so that's on me. I just really didn't like any of the things in this book. I didn't like the main characters, I didn't like the side characters. Like usually when you don't like the main characters, the side characters can be like a real like relief, and you like kind of like connect to those people. I didn't connect to anything in this book. I think when I was reading this, I skipped ahead to the smut scenes, and if that happens, because that's usually not what I care for in a book at all, but if that happens, then I know that I really don't enjoy the book or the storyline, because then I just like start skipping ahead to like the portions of the book where they're like together. So I think I gave this book 2 stars. Again, I would not judge you if you did like this book. People latch onto books and like connect with books and characters for so many different reasons. I just didn't like this book. I am now realizing that this is such a negative video because these are all books that I don't have any interest in, or I just like tried them and I didn't like them. Also, the lighting is changing because the sun's going down, and I'm like wrapping this up, but sorry if the lighting keeps changing. Anyway, on to more negativity, and I will try to be like less negative while talking negatively about these books. But this is a book that so many people enjoyed, and I just didn't connect with it. The only reason I finished this book, It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, is because it was the last book that I brought on vacation, so there was no reason for me to not finish it because I had finished all of my other books, and otherwise I would have nothing to read. But I did not like this book at all. I think it was just mostly smut, and I didn't really care for it. I liked the beginning where there was like banter and they didn't like each other, but they like were flirting and stuff. But as soon as they like got together, I hated everything about this book. I didn't hate it, I just disliked everything about this book. Less negativity. I just didn't like the whole caveman thing that he had going on, and like, you're a woman, you can't go anywhere without me, I will be there to protect you all the time. I was like, can she like fend for herself? I just didn't connect with this at all, and I know that people are going to hate me for that because this is a really popular book. I just didn't like it, and I also think it's because I didn't connect to the characters. And the second book in this duet is between Brendan's best friend and then Piper's sister. That book like speaks to me a lot more because that would be friends to lovers instead of enemies to lovers, and I also liked those characters a lot more, so I own that book, so I will be trying that in the future. But I'll be getting rid of this one because I hope someone else, like so many people enjoy it, so I'm the odd one out. Like I am the one that doesn't understand here, so I think like someone else will enjoy this a lot more than I did. Then I have Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I liked this book. I gave it 3.25 stars or something, 3.5 stars. I'm never going to read it again, and if I have to make space on my shelves, this one will go. But I do want to read the rest of the series like sometime. I'm not in a hurry to read these books. I don't need the physical copies. The next one is called Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I also talked about that one a second ago because, again, I liked this book. I gave it 3.75 stars, I think. I'm, again, just not going to reread it, and I don't have, like, a sentimental connection to these books, so I'll be getting rid of them. Then I have The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I read this book before the first season of the show came out, and I like the show so much better than the book. I only read the first one, so I'll be watching the show from now on, and I will not be reading the books, and if I don't own the other two, I don't need to be owning this one. Last book of the video is called A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I read this book, enjoyed it. I think I also shed a few tears. It was just really, really YA, and I won't be rereading it, and I probably won't be recommending it as well because it was so YA. I do think it's like a beautiful book if you're younger, even if you're not younger, but you should know what you're getting into because it's like a really, really YA. It's like a bit cheesy and corny, but it's also really beautiful and sad, but I won't be rereading it. So those were all the books. That was 38 of them, I believe. almost 40 books that I am unhauling, getting rid of, either selling, donating, giving away, the whole 9 yards. Some little part of me is, well, if you're getting rid of 38 books, you can buy 38 books, but that's not what we're going to do. However, I have been buying books like crazy, so all of these books that are behind me and turned around are new books that I've accumulated over the past few weeks. Okay, sorry for the sudden switch of light, but I had to turn on the light for the outro because it was getting way too dark. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next video very soon. Might be a book haul, might be something else. So yeah, I hope to see you in that one very soon. Bye!